On February 11th, she tweeted, quote, "The most dangerous entry to this country was the orange fascist we let into the White House." It certainly looks like her politics here are very clear.
Well, Erin, that's assuming that that particular Twitter or social media page is my client's. I have not independently verified any of the social media pages that have been referenced in that's been going on and been circulated. I mean, as you all know, it's very well possible that anyone can put up anything on the internet. But specifically, the rules of evidence in federal court have very strict guidelines as for what is and is not admissible. So it's still questionable whether those social media pages would be admissible in this trial. At the end of the day, the most important thing is ensuring that Ms. Winters receives a fair trial.
If she is convicted, if she did this, do you think that she deserves to go to jail for years? Because, of course, she could go to jail for up to a decade statutorily.
That's correct. According to 18 U.S.C. 793E, she is facing the maximum exposure of 10 years. Now, as her attorney, I can believe something totally different. That's why we're looking forward to having her day in trial where a jury can decide the case.
If she did this, why do you think she did it, especially given that they're saying she actually emailed the news outlet from her work computer?
If you look at the statute that I referenced, 793E, it specifically says the government's burden is going to be proving that classified documents were disseminated with a reasonable belief that they would injure the United States or favor a foreign government. According to the statute, that is what the government's going to have to prove. Going into motive at this stage, A, it'd be premature since we're still at the beginning stages, and B, that's not going to be an important part of the statute.
So you're saying she could have done it, but they'd have to prove that it actually damaged the government.
Well, as a former prosecutor, I always focus on what does the evidence show. We can all think whatever we want. We can have our own opinions. But at the end of the day, the government has the burden of proving beyond a reasonable doubt that she violated the statute.
And before we go, what's her state of mind? Is she okay with all of this? Is she
Erin,
upset? I mean, what is she thinking right now?
Well, Erin, I don't think anybody would be okay with being locked up in federal custody. I mean, this time last week, my client was employed with the company of Augusta. Now she's in custody. So I don't think it's accurate to say, is she okay or is she not okay with this? Really, the main thing she's focusing on is making sure that her constitutional rights are protected and that she has a fair trial.
Right. But I guess part of the reason I say that is if she did it, is she okay with it? Does she feel that this was a patriotic thing to do, that it was worth the price that she might pay?
I think that's something the jury's going to have to decide once she has her day in court.